Should the Portland area extend its urban growth boundary again?
That's the question now before Metro. Take a look at a map and you can see that the boundary goes all around the metro area, really holding in development. Our Chris Woodard getting answers on a possible expansion.
If you don't know what an urban growth boundary is, I'm standing on it. On one side of the road, a farm field. On the other side, a subdivision full of homes inside the boundary.
Helps us protect those things that we love about rural Oregon. It also makes providing urban services inside the urban growth boundary to communities a lot more efficient.
There is a lot to like about the urban growth boundary. The question is whether it's big enough for the Portland area.
It's always a tough decision. We've actually already had about a year's worth of input.
With a 19-page recommendation issued earlier this month, Metro's Chief Operating Officer Martha Bennett recommended against expanding the boundary and making more land available to development.
And most of the good sites for developing housing have already been taken up.
Critics and some builders want the boundary expanded, arguing if it is not, current neighborhoods will have to take on more growth and housing prices and rents will continue to go up.
For us to only be consuming our existing footprint of land basically means we have to tear down a lot of businesses and tear down a lot of homes and build higher density. And that costs a lot more money than building on the edge, even with all of the infrastructure costs.
How do you answer those builders who worry that it's going to disrupt neighborhoods if it's not expanded?
Well, first, we do already have quite a lot of undeveloped land inside the urban growth boundary, and so hopefully the land that we have is enough supply for them to go to for the next few years.
Metro points out opening the boundary and adding new subdivisions costs cities money to add roads and sewers, and only one city actually asked them for more space. Bennett is recommending keeping a close eye on the housing market and those costs, and revisiting the idea of a boundary expansion in 3 years. The debate is whether people who live here can afford to wait that long. So the recommendation has now been made, but the final decision on whether the boundary will be expanded is up to the Metro Council. They will make an official vote in November. In Hillsborough, I'm Chris Woodard for KOIN 6 News.